Well, hello, grand viewers. What's up? What's up? Sup? Sup? What's up? Sup? As in strictly unrelated podcast. You get it? I get it. Brian gets it. Right, Brian? You get it.
Wasabi? Wasuba? What's
No,
up?
sup. Sup is the acronym for our little show called Strictly Unrelated Podcast. Sup. What's up,
I
dude?
learn something new every day, and I don't know if acronym is the right word, but it's far too late my time. I'm actually getting kind of sleepy over here. I probably need to finish off the rest of my energy drink because I don't know if that's the right word, so I'm not going to make fun of you because it might be the right word, it might not be.
It is the right word. It's always the right word. It's just the bird is the word.
All right, Seth. All right, Seth.
Bird. Bird is the word. This is a bird. I had to pay homage to my boy. Anyway, what's up, everybody? This is Strictly Unrelated Podcast with your hosts, Emma George, and the incomparable, the unsinkable Brian Kelly.
Over here exposing full names on the internet so that people can come search us down and find us. I don't know about that move.
Dox us, y'all. What's up?
I don't quite know about that maneuver right there, but you know what you want to go ahead and do? You want to go ahead and challenge the internet, which, by the way, is a great topic to start on. Don't challenge the internet, okay? This is a good.
I'm not challenging the internet.
You just challenged the internet about 10 seconds ago, and even though all three people that listen to this show aren't going to do shit about it, I'm just saying it's a very valuable lesson that. You see influencers, celebrities, and companies. They learn it daily. You never, ever challenge the internet. I'll keep it really brief and just say, if you're going to go out there, like I love seeing people do this. They'll go ahead and they'll make like 17 videos about, I don't know, Mr. Beast, who I don't even watch, but I know he's huge with the youngins, right? But they'll make like 100 videos about how Mr. Beast is a scumbag, a piece of shit, I hate him, the guy's fraud, And then it turns out that guy has a fan base. So people end up finding all these videos, or they find the tweets or whatever, or someone says like, hey, this guy's kind of shitting on this person that I like. And then all of a sudden they get absolutely ripped into, and the next thing you know, you get a post going, I don't know what I did to deserve this. I just wanted to share some content with everybody. It's like, no, you challenged the internet. When you go out there and you tell people, hey, it's going to be fucking hilarious. I'm going to be funny. I'm going to make a little tweet. You know, I'm going to make a little YouTube video. I'm going to do a TikTok. I'm going to do a little TikTok, or as Bill Belichick would call it, I'm going to do a face plant. You know, I'm going to do a my book. You know, I'm going to go ahead and put one of these things out there. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, I can't believe this is happening to me, you know. And it's just like, listen, man, don't.
Oh, my gumdrop buttons.
It's just like in real life. It's the principle behind. I think I've said it in my own vlogs before. It's the principle behind road rage. It's why you never do it. Get mad at him. Get mad at that person in your car. You never know who they are. That person could be a fucking box of apes on PCP contained in a meat suit, okay? You have no idea how nuts that guy is in that car.
Because you never know.
And you know what?
Because you never know.
Don't invite that guy into your life. He just cut you off going like 95. Leave him alone. Let him go.
Yeah, let him go. Who gives a shit? You're fucking... He disrespected me.
Call him a sack of...
Just guess what? You're still alive.
Call him a sack of moldy nipples within the privacy of your car and move on. And that's it.
Exactly.
But it's one of those things again.
Unless you're in the middle of your podcast, unless like what is it? Your streams, like when you're.
Are we interrupting you? Why don't you get off your phone over there, huh? We're trying to do a podcast over here. You're over here on your phone. Yeah, unbelievable. I'm
not on my phone. I didn't have it silenced because I'm stupid.
That's a good cover though. You see that, folks? That's why she's one of the hosts. See, that's good because she got it covered real quickly. Mm-hmm. She knew exactly what she was going to say. It was like that. It was quick. That's showmanship right there. She got it. She had the cover story ready.
Thank you very much.
Good job. Good job, you fraud. But go ahead, continue.
I am not a fraud. I am Zod though.
That wasn't a good defense, but I like that you went with the rhyme so we could at least, try to go in a different direction there. But
General Zod. Okay, look at me making comic book references like a true geek. Oh my god. Aren't you so proud of me?
I'm such a nerd. I have glasses and pants on. I'm a nerd.
Do you have any idea? I've lost like dudes that I was talking to for a while. They got lost interest because of how much of a fucking nerd I am. It's not like, oh, just as a little side note, it's apparently not sexy to make a flirtatious remark that it's specifically referencing Star Wars. I thought it would be. Apparently I was wrong. Sorry.
Well, see, now you're going to have to say what it was.
I don't even remember. It was some like, I was alluding to something being sexual, and I used Obi-Wan Kenobi as some kind of either rhyming scheme or like it's just a literal, an analogy saying I don't remember exactly. It was something though that was a very, very
Man,
it wasn't
so
like a little Star Wars. It was like a lot.
I'm
Star
so
Wars.
disappointed.
Why are you disappointed?
I'm so disappointed. I was hoping it was going to be a Yoda thing. No, my breasts you must see. I did that too. To my house you must go.
I've done that too, though. Like, that's the thing. This has not happened just once. It's happened on multiple occasions where I've just made someone go, yeah, okay, because of the fucking, I'm like, oh, that was supposed to be sexy.
Do or do not, there is no try.
Do or do not mean. Do me or do not mean. There is no try. It's just push in, push harder. It's a little hard to get in.
That was good. That was a good start. I like where you're going with it. Gotta do a little more of the Yoda voice, though. You gotta do a little bit more of the strong arms you have. Yes.
Climb you like a tree, I will.
Bad sense of humor you have. Yes.
Don't even the things I want to make Yoda
fuck
say.
You in the back of the X-wing, I will. Mm-hmm.
Fuck you wrong with I. Wait, I have so many
this is why I don't wear pants.
Okay.
Yoda is always ready to fuck.
No, you did it wrong. You didn't say words backwards. That's wrong. You fucked up.
That's just him being formal. Listen, the Star Wars lore says that's Yoda being formal.
Run the train on your girlfriend, I will.
Hood Yoda, regular old streets from the streets of Dagobah Yoda. He just throws out whatever he says. Do. Okay, now we're getting into like Yoda
Smack
Chappelle. That could be there could be money in Yoda Chappelle.
$20 do you owe me, son?
Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
Oh, what's that? Was that Mr. Jackson's Lonely?
Sorry, Daddy.
Oh my God, that's probably one of my favorite Chappelle
Say thank you to Dave.
Say
thank you to Dave.
Run, bitch, run for your life. Get some help.
Thank you, Dave. I love your show. Thanks, Dave.
Run, bitch, run for your life.
So I make Malcolm X look like Brian Gumbel, huh, motherfucker?
I forgot that part. I'm like Malcolm X.
Go back and watch some of the classic Chappelle. That's a general good rule of thumb. If there's memes that live rent free in your head, especially if they're based on movies and TV shows, go back and watch them. The ones that are far back, you have to go back and watch them because you'll always catch stuff. It's like, wow, I thought I knew this word for word, and there's still good shit in there that I completely forgot was part of it.
I thought I was. Oh my God, that and the blind racist and the player haters ball. Oh my God! I would say something about your bitches, but it looks like you ate them. Your bitches look like a box of Skittles.
The racial draft with old Billy Rednuts and Dave Chappelle and oh my God,
Wu-Tang!
It's they've selected the Thriller, whatever.
Oh my God,
the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yes.
Oh my! Goes. Wait a minute.
I've always wanted to say this for shizzle. Tiger Woods.
It goes. No. What the hell's the fucking dude's name? Wow, I'm gonna blank on it now that I'm thinking. It goes Colin Powell. Colin Powell's not even the least bit white. He's 100% black. Well, we have to go and see what happens here because I don't know if they can pick him. He's 100% black.
He's the commentator. I can't.
And he comes back and he just goes, the black delegation has agreed to the white delegation selecting Colin Powell as long as they also accept Condoleezza Rice.
I forgot and
Chappelle playing the white guy goes, you got yourself a goddamn deal.
You got yourself a goddamn deal.
Could you? I would love to see the new racial draft. Just not because it's a boomer, like, oh, everyone will get mad at it. I just need to see it.
Right.
Because it would be fucking wonderful. But before we completely ruin this with nothing but old meme talk, yeah, the topic again of just people trying the internet continues to be a thing, and I don't know why. Again, I'll never understand why.
I did not challenge the internet. We can go right back to that. I did not challenge the internet. I repeat, I did not challenge the internet. Please don't hurt me. I don't need that shit.
One of the biggest examples of it. Remember, so when fucking Trump was in office, Shia LaBeouf
when he was
running that
could be like when he now that could be so bad in just a few months where we're like, oh, that aged like milk.
No, what I was going to mention is the Shia LaBeouf thing where he was doing this whole like he will not divide us, which he completely did.
Yeah, he did.
And people like Shia LaBeouf helped the division.
Yes, he did.
But anyways, they were doing this campaign where they had like this little like live cam and live stream, and naturally, because people on 4chan are the way they are, they decided to kind of just like fucking, troll it and make a huge deal out of it. And like guys would show up and like fuck with the camera or say like racist shit into it because they knew it was a live stream. And so Shia LaBeouf decided that they needed to move it somewhere else. Rather than just ending it or like doing something more secure, they essentially challenged the internet to like find it again.
Right.
And I don't know the complete level of autistic detail because there's a lot of it, but the amount, how easy it was for the collective minds of the dumpster of the internet to figure out exactly where because it was they changed it instead of a live stream of like a location where like Shia was with some people, they moved it to just be like just a flag, like a little like he will not divide us flag. And these motherfuckers, using the information available on the internet, determine the flight patterns of fucking planes above, the time of day, and they triangulated where the fucking flag was. And sure enough, within like, I want to say a day or two, a couple days, all of a sudden that flag started getting lowered and somebody ran up a MAGA flag.
Jesus Christ.
And it's like, you challenge the internet. And especially when you challenge, like, the losers of the internet, whether it's fucking Reddit, whether it's 4chan, when you target the loser, it's like, these guys have nothing going on.
Right. Is that you're
no woman, there's no man. Yeah, there's no woman or man asking them, hey, honey, what are you doing in there? No, they have nothing going on in their lives.
No.
These guys live on Twitter and Instagram, 4chan, Reddit, wherever, and that's it. And it's like, you challenge those types of people and you say, I don't think you're autistic enough to do this, they're going to turn around and you're just going to hear, and they're going to go right to it.
Yeah.
It might not be politically sound or socially acceptable to say, but it's literally what it is. These people have nothing going on in their lives.
Exactly, and you're begging them to have. You're giving them a hobby.
They can devote all this time to you, and
they would love nothing more.
Just again, they'd love nothing more, and then not to mention again, you're challenging people with endless time and people that care. They care about this stupid shit.
Well, speaking of caring about stupid shit, let's talk about video games.
Video games are stupid, and I think according to the manosphere, it means you're gay.
Usually. It's not always there's been some exceptions to that rule, but not many. We're going to talk about, we're not going to do a top 10. I decided to do this at the beginning. No, I will not listen. We're trying to talk about our favorite video games. God damn it. God damn it, yes we are. Because can I just say, Ocarina of Time is the best game of all time. You will not change my mind. There's a lot of front runners that are right behind it, but Ocarina of Time is just, I don't want to hear Link to the Past. I don't want to hear anything else. I don't want to hear fucking, what is it? Wind Waker. I loved Wind Waker, though, I will say. Wind Waker was great.
Wind Waker was the most adorable of the series.
It's so cute. You know what's really funny? I knew a kid in high school who said that he didn't figure out that you needed the fucking sail till like literally halfway through the game. So he had literally spent hours just sailing around trying to get to the next location and like didn't think to ask anyone like, hey, this seems a little weird and like really cumbersome. And he was like saying how much he hated it. And we told him like, why didn't you use the sail? And he just heard him get quiet where, what do you mean use the sail? And we're like, oh, Oh my, like I felt so bad for him, dude. I remember it was an anatomy class and I was in fucking Durham, North Carolina. I will never forget that moment where I was like, bro, I felt so bad for him that he like, but it's like, this is also one of the smartest people I knew in high school. So it's like, I find that the more genius someone is, the more moments they have where they're just pure human and just do
So
stupid shit.
I will disagree that it's what it is, because I've seen this myself in person. I think it's the difference between someone with common sense and with book smarts, because it's something that you see a lot, and I think almost all of us knows or has known at least one person like this, where in the classroom they're all A's, or they're very well
Right.
studied, they're probably very well spoken, they know they test well, but it's almost like it's a trade-off. Like, they got that kind of intelligence, but when it comes to the common sense, like, intuitive, like, not something you can learn in a book kind of intelligence, not even that they're stupid, but it's sometimes they're stupid, but it's one of those things where you turn around and you just go, what do you, like, I've told you this, I think I told it to you off stream, and if I've said it on the podcast before, then forgive me. Nobody else will, because nobody's listened to the rest of the podcast, so we're safe. But I told a story about, one of my siblings had a friend, and I'll be polite and not say anything else. Just one of my siblings had a friend, still does, still one of their best friends, and she's incredibly smart. She's very well spoken. She's got all kinds of success in life. But I'll never forget when she was, and again, I know they were little kids, but they were under 10 years old. They were somewhere between 7 and 10. But they watched my brother, my one of my siblings and their friend watched my other brother, because I have 3 siblings,
Right.
make lemonade by literally just squeezing lemons into a cup. Like, standard stupid little kid stuff. Standard stupid little kid stuff. They're just squeezing lemons into a cup, trying to make lemonade, because again, you're a child and you're dumb.
Right.
Watch them do that. Gave them each, my brother gave each of them a little bit of the quote lemonade that they improvised with lemon juice and water and sugar. They basically just put lemon juice, water, and sugar. And that's technically lemonade.
Technically, yeah, but there is a
so she takes a sip. She takes a sip of it, and my brother swears up and down, and has never doubted this story, and she's never fought it because she was honestly confused. This girl said to him, just taps him on the shoulder ever so lightly, and just goes, "Did you put carrots in this?"
What?
And my brother just kind of looked at her and was just like, "No." I didn't put any carrots in this.
What the fuck?
And again, it was one of those things that your whole brain halts.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just watched me make this.
Yeah. I have a story just like that.
Go ahead. Maybe you've got some weird taste buds, right? But
Right.
It was one of those, it's an all-timer story that we still make fun of to this day. And it was like 30 years ago this happened.
Right.
But, and it's just like, she watched you make it. And she comes over and she goes, "Did you put carrots in this?" And it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What do you...
I have
what?
I have a thing exactly like that where it was as much shorter. It was my ex. I was at his house for Christmas one year.
Already taking shots for the length. That's okay.
Okay. I was you fucking. I was at my ex-boyfriend's house.
It's a burden being so blessed.
I was at my ex-boyfriend's house for Christmas, and he had a brother. This brother was particularly one of the most intelligent people you'll ever meet. He was like a master's program for composing music. Like, he was absolutely genius. And one time he was standing in the kitchen, and he was just looking at the fridge, and he kept opening and closing the door. And it was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And he's just like, he just goes with this like monotone voice, like, just, you could hear the tone of his voice, like he's not thinking right now. His brain is turned off. Like, and he just goes, "How does the food stay cold with that light on?" And we're just like, "What? The light doesn't stay." And we start crying, laughing, like, the light doesn't stay on. Like, there's a little limit. You fucking, how, it's just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard a person say. And this is coming from somebody that I respected very much as like one of the most intelligent people in my life, like, let alone that I've met. And I couldn't believe that it was one of the funniest things. Exactly the same kind of, like, just innocence, and like almost where they're just not, like, they're not hearing themselves say the words out loud. Like, they're like, "Oh, did you just say those words in that order without exploding?" I am shocked. Anyway.
It's a different channel. It's a different channel of intelligence, you know. And I'll never sit here and make a serious assessment of my own intelligence. You know, people can think of me whatever they want. You know, that's just always been how I've seen it. But like,
well, what's your favorite Zelda game though? Let's like get back to this. I was just like, that was the whole we're calling these people derpy, and like here we are supposed to talk about video games, and we're talking about people who are stupid.
Yeah, like we're gonna talk about video games, and you said what's one of your favorite video games, and I can tell you it's not going to start with a Zelda game, but that's not saying that Zelda games are bad because one of the Zelda games would definitely be in my top 10. I don't know if there would be 2 Zelda games in my top 10, even though that's not what we're doing. Is top 10, but
we're not doing top 10s anymore. It's a little bit better.
So you're gonna have to rephrase this to me. So you're thinking your favorite game.
I'm thinking favorite games. I started with one, and then we trailed off into another fucking realm of thought, which was exactly why we call this podcast Strictly Unrelated.
I was gonna say we're just staying on brand. I don't know what
we're staying on brand, but now I'm bringing it back to what are your favorite video games of all time?
I mean, of all time.
You can pick.
I mean, of all time, it's gonna be a boring pick, but my favorite game of all time is probably. It's probably either Final Fantasy VII or Pokemon Blue. And the reason it's either Final Fantasy VII or Pokemon Blue is because they both play different roles in my life in terms of, like, Final Fantasy VII, I think, was the first game that really introduced the idea of a game being more than mindless entertainment. Final Fantasy VII was the first game that I played front to back. It wasn't the first RPG, but it was the first game with a real narrative, and it was a 40-hour game, which was unheard of. It was over 3 discs, and it was one of those things where, nowadays we have games that last anywhere from fucking 6 hours to 400 hours, depending on what kind of game it is and how much replay value you're going to get out of it. But like back then, the standard gaming experience wasn't something, like today. And getting a full-on narrative kind of game like that was still a game at heart. You were still collecting items, you were still having little fights, you were still doing all that stuff. Right. But at the same time, had this huge overarching story going on to it. And Final Fantasy VII was the first one. I remember renting it from a local video store like 3 or 4 weekends in a row because obviously I wanted to beat it. And I remember getting Final Fantasy 8 and 9 on my own copies of them when they came out after 7 because I was like, okay, I've got to stay with this series. But 7 was definitely the first one that I think had a big impact on me, and it stuck for a long time.
And that's not really, I wouldn't say it's boring. I'd say that's widespread. There's a lot of my friends who think the same thing. For me, it's either Ocarina of Time, Legend of Legaia, which is a turn-based RPG that is very similar to Final Fantasy, which is why Final Fantasy X
PlayStation 1, right?
Oh, yeah, dude. Final Fantasy X is one of my favorite games also of all time, but let alone my favorite out of Final Fantasy games, period. God, I love Lulu. I love playing as she's just big titty goth girlfriend, dude. And
I knew it was a thirst pick.
Of course it was a thirst pick, but also she's a badass bitch, and she can do some magic that's totally hardcore. I fucking love Lulu.
Doesn't she bang Waka in the sequel? You can't be that badass and then end up with Waka.
Oh, Waka. Oh my God. Waka Waka. That's all I think of every time I hear his fucking name.
Here's Waka another choice for one of my favorites, Super Mario RPG.
He's always turned out I barely use Waka, unless it's I can get his attack level the same as Titus's. But
yeah, he wasn't super good, but another one of my favorites definitely is Super Mario RPG.
Oh yeah, before we get off the subject, I was going to say, before we get off the subject of Final Fantasy X, it influenced me enough that one day, if I have a son, I want to name him Auron, Auron, and it's a real name. It's not made up for that. It's not Lulu's not made up, but it's Yuna is kind of made up, Titus and all that, whatever. But I don't care. I think Auron is a great name because it's a lot of times it's spelled O-R-E-N, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. We're going with Final Fantasy spelling. So continue, Mario Brothers. You were saying. I just wanted to say, no. I don't know how much of a spaz I am.
No, Mike, not Mario Brothers. Super Mario RPG.
Fucking Mike, you fucking. For anyone listening to this, the reason we know each other is because my ex-boyfriend is this man's best friend since kindergarten. So that's how you can tell. The relationship ended well. Nothing really bad happened because we're friends now. And we all
don't need to know.
Yeah, you don't need to know, but I think it's fun. I think it's an interesting little tidbit. That's the whole theme of this episode is kind of getting to know each other, getting to know you and me in the most basic bitch, white girl way possible, and in all the wrong ways. It'll be fun. Um, anyway, back to video games. The video games. Video. Oh, and my dogs say hi.
Emma completely destroyed a recording, so we're finally back. And no, in reality, I only blame Emma. It's actually the connection at the high security facility she's at. So, as you can hear, the attack dogs are getting a little bit wound up. She may or may not have been dragged out of her cell briefly for an attitude adjustment because she was taunting them with scraps of food, even though she was told not to taunt the guard dogs, but she did it anyways. And
well, the problem is we're so far underground. We're so far underground that it's a hazard.
Careful.
So
Speaking of careful, don't give away too much geographic information. As far as we know, you're above ground.
You know what else I like?
That's all we're gonna say.
I'm going to talk about Legend of Legaia more, but I'm also going to talk about Spyro the Dragon. Spyro was the shit. I don't care what anybody says. And Resident Evil. We can get going on about. The first one was good.
Resident Evil we could sit here and talk about for at least 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2.
I've played every single one of them. I've played every single one of them not named Resident Evil 6. and
I tried playing
random
5.
side note on Resident Evil.
I physically could not play 5. I couldn't figure out what the fuck. I was like, what are these controls? I don't know.
That's the same controls as 4.
5. I know, dude, but I'm saying, like, if the very beginning, like, I couldn't. It was just so fucking stupid, and I immediately just got stuck there because I was like, well, wait a minute, what do we... And I just got confused and couldn't get past the initial part. No, I'm serious. And because, like, the way it was, like, you were moving and you had your, like, little partner or whatever, it was just dumb. I'm not going to go into it. My favorite zero punctuation video ever was about Resident Evil 5. I think it's the funniest one he's ever done.
Resident Evil 5 is in my top 3 best Resident Evil games. That's my Resident Evil hot take.
Well, no.
Yes,
are you talking about the one with Chris, where his arm is the size of his head on the front cover?
Chris's arms have always been the size of his head, except for the first game.
It's him and the girl that you have with you. It's not
Sheva.
Yeah, you like that game?
Yeah, so do a lot of people.
You know what?
It's actually
a lot of people.
I'm not kidding.
A lot of people like killing motherfuckers too, but you don't do that just because other people like it.
Well, it's actually really fun, but we'll have to talk about that another time.
Okay, yeah.
In terms of top selling Resident Evil games, let's play a quick game. Don't look this up.
4 is the best.
No, don't look this up. But I want to genuinely ask you this because it always confuses people. I want you to go ahead and tell me. What do you think is the number one most popular? What is the number one top selling Resident Evil game of all time? Not by money, by units.
By units? Let's say Resident Evil 2.
Which one?
Not the one remastered, but the original.
The remaster is number 1. What do you think is number 2?
The regular one?
Resident Evil 7.
Ooh, interesting.
Number 3 is Village, Resident Evil 8.
Really?
Number 4 is Resident Evil 5.
Boo.
Number 5 is Resident Evil 6. Yeah?
Wow.
So, these numbers obviously are not, indicative of quality or anything like that, but it's always interesting to bring it up just because, it's one of those things to mention because Resident Evil 5 gets a lot of hatred, and I've honestly never understood it just because Resident Evil 4 reinvented the franchise, right?
Right.
So Resident Evil had gotten really stale, and then 4 came out and said, let me show you how I fuck, and completely redesigned and reinvigorated this franchise. This franchise dies without Resident Evil 4.
Absolutely.
It needed a reinvention,
Absolutely.
and Resident Evil, and it wasn't on its way to dying, but Resident Evil 4 saved it from a nosedive because people were getting bored of it, and it needed a reinvention.
Sure.
So 4 did that, and then 5 comes out, and 5 says, "Well, what did people not like about 4?" having a companion who's a sex doll.
Basically.
And is just as useless. And obviously, the idea is that, there's nothing wrong with your partner being useless in a combat scenario. She's obviously a hostage, The idea is that you have to, keep her safe. And escort missions kind of suck in video games. They're usually the low light of any game because people hate escort missions. But Resident Evil 4 wasn't that bad. It was okay. Ashley was a little insufferable. I think she was way better in the Resident Evil 4 remake. But then they made 5 and said, okay, so same style, third person, action-oriented, because 4 was action-oriented. I'm sick of these fucking revisionists acting like 4 wasn't a goddamn action movie, because it was.
Yeah, it was.
It was 100% an action movie. Just because the first 2 hours were Hills Have Eyes doesn't mean that the rest of it wasn't a giant action movie. And then the 5th one said, okay, well, how about instead of having a companion who is a dope, we're going to give you, like, a fucking soldier. And, like, the AI is not great, but you have the opportunity for co-op. The game is super fun co-op. And 2, Sheva is one of the most criminally underused. She was great, and she's never, ever appeared in another game. And she's one of the characters that people have actually kind of been like, it'd be nice to get her back.
Yeah, she's not a horrible character. It's just
she was good.
Yeah, but her use in the game is just off the. I can't even deal with it.
I never dealt with any really terrible. She only ever died on me like in a stupid scenario, like once or twice. For the most part, she worked fine for me. But
maybe
I know a lot of people. That's my experience.
But
listen, I'm not too great at these games either. I'm not good at games in general. But I think Resident Evil 5 is one of the best, just from a sheer fun standpoint. Like people that want to like police the games on their story. Hot take, not even really a hot take, just fucking solid fact. The Resident Evil stories are fucking stupid. And if you're actually going to sit there and complain that, it wasn't as good as... The best Resident Evil game, without a question, is either 1 or 2 when it comes to story. Because that's when it was... It's like I said, 1 or 2, I think are both acceptable. Because those are both, games with a small story on a small scale. Even 2, taking place in a whole city, was on a smaller scale than fucking... 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 19 are going to be. And, 5 was just fun. And I never understood the amount of shit that it gets.
Because it's unplayable. I don't understand how you, genuinely, I couldn't play it.
No, it's not.
I'm telling you, I struggled with playing it at all in the from the very beginning of the fucking game.
You and I at some point in the future are going to co-op it. And I guarantee you will feel better about it.
Maybe.
I guarantee.
If you co-op, I imagine it would be more fun if you co-op it, but I didn't have a co-op. I didn't have anyone to co-op with at the time, so when I played it, it was just.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm just saying,
No, I get that.
Yeah, I'm sure if I co-op it with you, I'll genuinely like it, and that it'll be, different. How to make me feel differently about it. However, when I was playing it, which is normal when you play on one player, you're the only single player, and then. That just became unplayable literally physically unplayable for me at certain points. I couldn't. I mean, this is somebody who grew up I was playing the first Resident Evil and the second Resident Evil from the time I was not 8, 9, 10. So it's not like I just didn't understand how the controls worked. I don't know what happened. At this point, it was so long ago. It was this is literally 2010. So it's 14, 15 years ago. I don't remember all the details about it, but still.
Yeah. No, and again, I'm not shitting on you or anything like that. I'm just saying it's one of those games that I could understand someone having a bad intro to it. The intro is hectic, but that's by design, just like 4's intro was hectic.
Well, Zero Punctuation does a great video on it, though, and I feel like that's a perfect representation of my feelings about it. I can't even explain to you what's so wrong with it, but that video is the perfect. It captures what I'm trying to say exactly.
Yeah, no, I like his videos, and if I'm remembering his Resident Evil 5 one well, because there was a point where I consumed all his content.
Right.
I'm sure there's some stuff that he makes that I'm sure there's points that he makes that I agree with, but at the same time, I already know because I've had this take for a long time that Resident Evil 5 is one of the better ones because people usually give the same answers. Oh, the story's dumb. It's okay, so is every single other one except for 2 tops.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right.
Next critique, because that one's useless. it didn't do anything different than 4. Okay, and 2 and 3 were pretty much on point, the same exact. 3
Right.
was the most innovative game out of the original trio because it included dodging and multiple story paths. It's like 1 and 2 were fucking the same goddamn game. 2 was just more refined. So it's like, don't give me this. And it's been one game. It's not like it's like the 4th game in a row that's been the same, dude. It's like, don't give me this, it's the same bullshit. It's like, no,
It's not.
everybody liked 4. Everybody liked 4. So they said, okay, we're going to do it again. All right. And we're just going to refine
And then
it,
they
which
didn't.
is what they did.
Nope.
Yes, they did. And that's fine. Listen. There's not enough room for both of us to be wrong. So I get it, but it's one of those things where,
well, sometimes I'm wrong too.
Again. Oh, I know. Like
sometimes.
I said,
not today.
Trust me. I know. So it's one of those things where, again, because I'm not going to say people didn't have bad, because I know people have said that they had bad experiences with the AI and that it was kind of shit. And it makes me wonder, because I wonder if it is like a console thing or if the PC port was any better. Because around that time, PC ports were shit. So, I mean, I don't know. It could be a bunch of things. But
right.
But either way, it's far more fun.
There's
than
different other video games though. Like we were talking about our very favorite video games of all time. Resident Evil for me is my favorite one is going to be 2 every single time. Mm-hmm. Like, I love 4. I liked 7. I like 7 a lot. But I'm just gonna. It's always the classic. And I'm very much a person who kind of believes in that kind of thing, which is funny because like a lot of my other games, my favorite games are things like BioShock and what's it called? There's a shitty remake with a shitty movie made with Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland. Out, what the goddamn shit is that name? What's the name of the movie?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg?
Oh, it's. No. Oh, what, the Uncharted movie?
Thank you, Jesus Christ! I was literally blanking.
I never played those games, but I know they made a movie.
I love those games. I love them to death, and I love the first one. My favorite one is the third. But those games are just pure art to me at a certain point. Like that, and like my favorite Star Wars game is once again I'm blanking the fucking, oh my god, it came out just like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. It's the red-headed character that is the lead.
Fallen Order, I think it's
called. Thank you. Yep, Fallen Order.
I think it's called Fallen Order.
Oh yeah, it is. I think it's Fallen Order.
Because there's a sequel out now.
Right, which I haven't played yet, but that made me think of it. Oh, and The Last of Us. The Last of Us is that game. That is the most amazing movie I have ever played in my life. Like, it's.
Which one? Sorry, which one?
The Last of Us.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I remember you and I had a lot to say about the second one. That was fun.
I don't have any serious opinions on it. I was more just amused by how people reacted to it.
Every single time I talked to you, you were making jokes about that fucking girl.
Oh yeah, well that's because again it was such an on topic thing. The people that were either dick riding the game were just like, I can't believe I've witnessed such amazing artistry, and then there were the people that were just like, oh, this game's for losers, it's shit, it's terrible, and of course all anybody could focus on was this absolute titan of a woman who hasn't, who should have no ability to look the way she does, but yet she looks like Hulk Hogan with a ponytail, and it's like,
yeah,
and it's just like,
in the zombie apocalypse, I'm like, how is she slamming those carbs?
Oh, everybody! I saw a video making fun of it where it's like, where do you think she gets all the protein?
Yeah, dude.
Is she just out there like eating animals with her bare hands? Do you think she eats half the people they kill? Like, where's she getting all the gains? And every time she's not on screen, what's Abby doing off screen when you can't see her? And then it cuts to an animation of her with a pair of like 200-pound hand weights going.
See, it's one of those things where like back when it first came out.
It's Chris Redfield, it's just like, look at how yoked she is. It's like, holy shit.
But like the silliness of it, like, and you couldn't even make fun of it at the time. I remember the social awareness, like trying to like, don't make fun of this character. It's like, no. And my problem is not.
It's how this shit always goes.
Yeah, I know, but like my problem with it was not anything like
Because they turn it
that
into an
superficial.
anti-LGBT thing, you know?
Exactly. Well, the problem was I was like, no, on a regular, literally on the scale of which that they are in this apocalypse, and the money, like they have rations at this point. They don't just have like regular food. They're called rations, okay, for a very good reason. You're telling me this girl was able to bulk that much weight? Like I know sometimes it's genetics. Sometimes you can just attribute it to the fact that some people are just
I'll
born big like that. But
yeah.
I was saying not in that kind of environment. You're not, unless you're doing, maybe if she's doing physical work, the physical labor every minute of the day, like 15 hours a day or some shit, maybe. But even then, like that would just cause her to lose weight. That's not the way that our anatomy
I'll
works.
I'll go ahead and say I don't even care that I don't even care that she looks like Tony Atlas. The thing about it that the whole thing about
It
because
just seems
I've
like
never
it's
I've never played the
being
game. I
ham-fisted.
think I've never played either game. I don't have a dog in the fight. I always thought that gameplay loop was kind of boring. I'd rather just watch the game because it seems like they're far more interested in making a movie. I mean, from a gameplay perspective, I've seen enough gameplay to know that I'd be very bored playing these games. Stealth already bores me to fucking tears,
Oh,
and then
really? See,
watching
for
how
me,
the
it
and then
doesn't.
watching good
I love
stealth
stealth
games
shit.
don't bore me, but watching the gameplay, I know I would be bored out of my mind so
Assassin's
fast.
Creed is one of my favorites. So like back when I was even invested in the series, but like, dude, like that shit, like the stealth games, that is totally up my alley. I love doing shit like that.
And like I said, I'm not opposed to stealth, but it's one of those things like, and I'll to just finish the thought. The only thing about Last of Us 2 that I thought was funny once I heard about it, because I spoiled it for myself. I wasn't gonna play it. I watched a bunch of
Right.
reviews on it. I was like, okay, everybody's got their fucking red, white, and blue and non-binary panties in a bunch over this fucking game. Everyone's taking weird political stances on it.
Uh-oh.
I
Now
don't
it's
know what the
Brian's turn
big
to piss
deal
people
is.
off.
Oh, I don't care if I piss people.
I
You
I hope
you
you do.
literally just. I'm already pissing people off by just speaking into a microphone, so it's fine. So there's
There's gonna be
always just like there is always someone out there for every single kink that you can possibly think of. There's always at least one person. The same thing goes with virulent anger. There's always someone, Emma, somewhere is very mad at you
for what?
that you're just sitting there talking into a podcast.
Oh,
And
probably.
and who knows why. But again, there's always someone mad, so I don't give a shit.
So
But
I
it's
know who
one
it
of
would
those
be.
things where well, we'll just start with Andrew Tate. But they're
That too.
probably all very mad that you're talking. But
Because
but
I'm
it's one of
happy and
those
like
things
doing
again
shit with my
where
life.
yeah,
Probably.
right. But after watching all the content and reviews of 2, honestly, spoilers for Last of Us 2 if you really give a shit. But the story,
Yeah.
I would have been so fucking mad if I went through this whole story, this revenge plot, that, like, all the way to the end. Ellie legitimately kills a small town worth of human beings to get to, like, living, breathing, uninfected humans in an apocalypse and goes through how many of them? And then at the very end, pusses the fuck out because
Yeah.
Joe wouldn't have liked that. And it's like, bitch, you better fucking slit that chick's throat.
Yeah.
You came all this way to beat some hoe's ass who killed
I
your
wanted
dad.
to see a showdown, bitch. Like
But
just
what
if I had
sucks-
an air horn sound right now, like, ooh, like
What sucks is the people that dick ride, because there's also always going to be dick riders for anything. And the people
Always,
that dick
of course.
rode that game, they'll sit there and say, well, that's like the artistry. It's like, no, that's bad writing. That's lazy. It's like you make her do this fucking John Wick just roll through the opposition
Yeah,
bullshit
yeah.
storyline, and then you have
Absolutely.
her pull this lame ass out of left field moral grandstanding at the end of it. And then not to mention, you know what would have been brave? You know what would have been really fucking brave? If she has that moment, decides to let Abby go, and then Abby snaps her fucking neck.
that
Could you
might have been
imagine if that's
interesting.
how it ended? Could you imagine if she went soft on her at the last minute, and then Abby just fucking caps a hoe?
That would be great.
I would have been
liked that.
I would have been like that. That was a bold choice.
Yeah.
That was a bold choice. Like, again, I'm just gonna shut up because I've never played the game, but like I said, I've consumed so many hours of just reviewing it because I wanted to be part of what everybody.
Well,
was
they wanted to
mad
be able
about.
they wanted to leave it open for themselves to be able to make a third one. I'm positive. I'm sure that they're like just trying to milk the money out of it. But
I mean, they've remade each game I think like 6 or 7 times already, so I don't know what their fucking plan is to do
I have
another
no
one.
idea. Oh my God.
I think they even did a battle royale or planned a battle royale at some point. It was like,
That's
it was like,
cool.
please don't do that. Please don't. Well, because that whole craze is gone now. Like, there's really nobody's making battle royales anymore, and the few that exist, like PUBG, is just hanging on there, and Fortnite is the only one, and they're huge.
Oh,
and who's gonna pick a fight with Fortnite? But go ahead.
Totally random. It's a game that I can only play because I've never been able to play it anywhere else besides my PlayStation. It was in Pixel Junk Monsters. It's like a tower game, a tower defense game, where there's little monsters like that come in to eat your little babies or whatever. I can't remember what it is, but it's exclusive to the PlayStation.
So it's a pro-choice game.
Look at that. There we are, and that's the demonetization speed run. We're about, I don't know, 40 minutes.
We're way off the tracks. We're way off the tracks for that shit. Way off the tracks for that shit.
Yeah. That was really good, though. I like that joke. And I completely lost my train of thought, though. I was saying something. I don't know. We're talking about video games. We're going to talk more about, we're going to do these word processing games.
I'm going to throw out one more game. I'm going to hijack this topic and give one more game. So on GameCube,
give me one more.
On GameCube, all right? A console that's
we didn't even talk about Smash Brothers.
Nowadays.
We didn't even talk about Smash Brothers or GoldenEye.
I know. Like I said, we could make a whole fucking 17-part episode just yakking. But I have to throw out one game on GameCube. It's never had a sequel. It's never had a remake. And it's one of the greatest horror games that's ever been made. And it's a cult classic. People love it. Copies of this game on GameCube still go for about $100 a pop. And if you have the jacket and the case, you can charge more than $100 for it. And it's unique. And it's crazy that this game has never gotten more attention, and it's one of those things that I'm afraid is going to get lost to time because they're losing their window to do either a remake or another version of it. But Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem is an obscure title for GameCube. It was critically hailed when it came out, from what I recall, and I remember playing that game. And I have never played a horror, and I know there's ones that have done this trope recently. I haven't played any of them to any extent, so I wonder, if you're listening to this right now, and and you know Eternal Darkness, and you know a game that's similar to it, by all means, throw it in the comments, because I'd love to hear it. But Eternal Darkness, and I'll make it quick, Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem was a third-person horror thriller mystery kind of game, where you played as a young woman who inherits this giant fucking mansion. I think it's from her uncle or her father. And it's all Cthulhu-esque kind of horror. It's cosmic horror. It's other dimensions and beings. And what makes the game unique is that it's got like a magic system. You've got like melee weapons here and there, but you play through different periods of time because you're following the story of this artifact, this book called the Tome of Eternal Darkness. And you're tracking this book's history throughout time, but you actually play the characters in those stories. So you play as like a Roman, you play as somebody in like the 30s or something like that, or 40s, like exploring. Couple of different time periods, and there's melee weapons, there's guns, depending on the time period. I think one of them takes place during a world war. But what makes it so unique is not just that, it's not just the magic system, which is all runes and shit, but the game has a sanity meter. So your character in all gameplay scenarios slowly loses sanity as they encounter creatures, as they get damaged.
I think I remember this.
And you recover sanity by killing them and by using certain power-ups, etc., etc. But if your sanity starts to go too low, the lower your sanity gets, the game dicks with you. And it does it in so many different ways. You can go on YouTube right now and look up compilations of all the different sanity effects. I'll never forget one of them. Mike and I were playing the game when it was on, when we were little on GameCube, littler, like, teenagers. And one of the things that it did is it simulates like it just went to the save screen. and it's just like, hey, it's like, whoa, we're at a save point, and it goes over to your save, and it says deleting.
Oh my god!
And you're like, wait, what the fuck's going on? And then the screen, because it does the same thing. Once the effect is over, the screen does a little flash, and your character will have like a little breakdown comment. Like they'll just be like, this can't be happening. Or they'll say something like, what was it? Am I losing my mind? Like they'll say something like that, and it's everything from like random little blood drops on the screen to meta stuff like that deleting your memory card screen. It's one of the effects, your character, literally, their head just blows up. And it's like, okay. What happened? And then all of a sudden the screen refreshes and your character's like, oh, never mind, I'm just crazy and imagining things. But Jesus. I'm going to shut up. But Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, is one of the most deserving of a remaster or a remake I've ever seen. And I could only imagine if a company with, like, the money like Capcom or Square was able to put behind it, that would be outstanding. Shutting up. Go ahead. What's next?
Right.
I had my soapbox moments.
There you go.
It's back to you.
Okay. I'm just thinking there's so many games that I'm thinking of, like, from my past. There's a game for, like, a lot of original PlayStation PS1 games. Like, there was a Spice Girls game that I loved so much where you could remix the music. I love that. I loved it. I don't care. And then there was a game that was an X Games, like literally like the X Games. There's
I think I had that one.
There was one called Pandemonium, where it was like there was that one. Let's see, there was, and then for let's see, was it Super Nintendo or was it N64? No, it was N64. Primal Rage, is a fighting game with like you play like these monkeys or like there's a dinosaur that you play. It's fucking great. Like there's like dinosaur kind of character. Vertigo was always my character. There's a lot of random games like Legend of the Guy I've already mentioned like several times, but it's kind of an obscure game, but like so worth it. I would play it again if I could find it right now. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Like there's Spyro the Dragon. There's so many different like hits that were like during that period of time because we were talking about we were going to talk about like I was calling them school bus jams. Like things, but instead I was like, no, I want to do video games at the last minute. And it's the same effect where it's like my favorite video games are all going to be the ones that I was playing when I was a certain age, which was about, from elementary school on to college even, like Guitar Hero. I prefer Rock Band. Just the way that the guitar is set up, like the controls of it and like they have physical buttons. Mm-hmm. I like Rock Band better. And I can play that on expert at any point. I could slam it out right now. I don't care. I can't tell you how long and how hard I played that game. But yeah, there's things like that. I could, like I said, like you just said too before, like I could go on for fucking hours and hours about all my favorite games and all the games I've played over the years. And like I said, we hadn't even talked about Smash Brothers. We haven't even talked about all the games you played in college, where like everyone's drinking, we're all just gonna like fight each other because it'll be hilarious, Yeah, so that's about it. Like we're just gonna transition to the next little topic here. The whole theme of this episode is just kind of the idea of getting to know us, because we've been talking the last first two episodes. It's like, no, I think people like they don't want to just hear two random people just spouting their their beliefs and like their takes on things. Like you relate to the person. That's what people want to be drawn in by is the personality. And so I felt like we were going to do some like we did. I had him do Brian. I had him do was a Myers-Briggs, the 16 personalities thing. I had him take that test, and I had him give me his information for astrology. And so I'm going to talk about him as I have his reading and I have his chart pulled up because we're going to talk about astrology before we get into like that though, because like this is an episode I wrote like I didn't mean to, but I was like, this is going to be nothing but Brian just talking shit like the entire episode, either about me or to me
or astrology
or yeah, that too,
or talking shit about astrology.
Oh yeah, we're going to. You're not allowed to yet, because I said so.
I'm primed and ready.
Okay. Well, thank you for the warning. So we're gonna start though. We're gonna do something that's called a word association game because it's funny, and I want to see where Brian's brain goes to like the to see exactly how fucked up he is. But we all know he's fucked up. We all know that he's like dropped his head on his head as a baby level of just derpy derp 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 derp. So,
all right, so I'm going to stop you right there and clarify that I was not dropped on my head as a baby. I was thrown like a football into a glass wall. But continue.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't, I didn't quite remember all the details. It's one of those things you just don't ask about. Like, hey, by the way,
that's okay. That's why I'm here, to clear up the details. So go ahead.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. So we're going to do something with the little word association game first. And I'm going to do it to Brian first, and then he will do it to me. And that sounds really dirty. That doesn't need to be there. Why does that sound like that? Okay. So here's what I'm going to do, Brian.
Shirt off. Let's go.
Oh, God. So stupid.
I've got the tassels. Let's go, baby.
I'm going to read off words. I'm going to read off, specifically, I'm going to read off 8 words. And your job is to say a word that as soon as, like, literally 0 seconds of thinking about it, just the first word that comes to your mind. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to pick that apart a little bit. And then I'll do it. And then you can make fun of me for I'm sure, what will be very scandalous answers. So, are you ready, Brian?
I have never been more prepared in my life.
That's a lie, but okay. Okay, ready? The first word is umbrella.
Resident Evil. We're literally just talking about Resident Evil, so
that's
umbrella's going to come right. It's going to come right up, yeah.
Those are 2 words, but I'll take it because it's hilarious. Okay, let's go with. Hold on 1 second. Oh shit. Notebook.
I'm ready. Are you ready? Shitty love movie.
You have to say 1 word. Shitty love movie.
I'm just okay. Fine. Fair warning. Go ahead. Next one.
Invisible.
Man.
See, there you go. That's better. That's what it's supposed to be. That
You're
makes
stalling.
sense. Okay. Dress.
Woman? I don't know.
Okay. Mourning.
Funeral?
Oh, that was it. That's interesting. Okay. Detector.
Because I don't know if you're saying morning as in day or morning as in mourning over somebody.
I know, that was, which is why it was
because you're a dark little emo child, so I went with.
I thought it was interesting because, well, it was actually written as mourning, like as in grieving, but I was like, oh, this will be interesting. I bet he's going to go for morning, like morning or night, and the sun coming out and shit.
Oh,
and you didn't, which I find
defeated her expectations.
And then, now I'm going to say detective.
Pikachu.
I like that though. Okay. Oh, here's another one. Herd.
Amber.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I
don't know why that's interesting. That fucking bitch. I hate her.
The more I hear about it, and I don't have full and complete knowledge on it, but like the more I hear about it, the more there's part of me that still feels a little bad for her. I mean, Johnny Depp, they're clearly 2 kind of shitty people, but his legal team fucking destroyed her. His legal team fucking killed her, and she didn't look very good at all in that trial. Yeah. She didn't look very good in that trial, and those fucking doctored images, it was like, okay, listen,
she didn't look very good because she was lying, and then he didn't look very good because he was being a sarcastic asshole, but goddamn it, I loved every minute of every little response that he had. I was just
it's pure shameless human drama.
I can't remember what it was. It was like, are you referring to the whore that I was donated my donated my sperm to? I can't remember everything, the exact wording of what he said, but he read it out loud in court, and I was just like, my fucking guy, like, fuck that bitch, because she's lying and making shit up that he, clearly it was a toxic relationship. Clearly, like you said, I don't know if I'd say they're shitty people. I don't know. I know that she is, but I don't know if he is, because the thing is, you have to think about is, if he was like that, he's been around since the 80s, and when he was a major fucking player at the same time then, the same level of fame he had then, he has now, and not once have I ever heard of, like, a story of him being an abusive asshole. It would have come out, it would have been around, it would have been, and especially when
I
you work in the
mean,
film industry.
I'm pretty sure there's been like one or two incidents of like, he's kind of a little bit of
He's an
a
asshole.
drunk. He's a little bit of a, he can be a diva like any of them can, but
Yeah, sure.
I think again
That's
his
not.
legal team and his PR team were just light years ahead of hers.
Oh yeah, they
And
won.
she could have come out looking a lot better, but she didn't have the right people in my opinion.
See,
He
and
had
this is why
the
we play
game
role
set up.
games.
Yeah, she had the game set up for him. And again, it's one of those things. I mean, the fucking chick changed her name and moved out of the country. So clearly, she doesn't really believe herself to the fullest capacity she could.
No, she doesn't.
Which, by the way, I'm actually pretty sure I didn't just make that up. I'm pretty sure she actually changed her name and moved out of the country.
Like, I'm pretty sure you might be right. I haven't checked yet because I don't fucking care. She's a stupid bitch, and I don't care what she does.
She's also absolutely fucking smoking hot, and should be another example of you just because your dick, your pussy, whatever, is telling you take that. Just remember, they're just as nuts as you. Doesn't matter how good they look.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Possibly and typically more nuts the hotter they are. The hot and crazy scale is a very real thing.
It very much is. That is so true. And there's good
That's
reason
why I
for
like
it.
being ugly and amazing.
That's why, like, though, I could talk on that subject for fucking hours too, just about how good-looking women have like, there's a, like, you think, oh, they have it so easy and all this shit. I know that that's the thing that a lot of incel motherfuckers think. And it's like, no, you really don't, and you don't get it, because like the level of shit most women just on average have to deal with, and like dating apps and on the street and things like that, is ridiculous. But then when you're if you're pretty and you're good looking, you have to sit there and deal with that on a level that's like astronomical, because it's like, if it's what it is for normal women, but like you're a really good looking woman like that, gets a bunch of shit, but also doesn't, like, guys don't ask you out on dates anymore because they're too afraid and too intimidated to actually ask you and even talk to you. So, like,
I can already hear the women disagreeing with you, saying, actually, I get asked out and hit on all the time because I'm hot.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying you don't. I'm saying that, like, a lot of times there's good men who are just too nervous about it, who are just, because they're like, they immediately think that they don't have a fucking shot, which is not true.
People are just, I mean, I don't say this as a guy, I say this as general. I mean, people obviously are just afraid of rejection,
Sure,
and
absolutely.
I think people also, quote unquote, play in their own leagues,
Yeah.
To quote Dr. House, right? The sixes date sixes, sevens date sevens. They stay within a point or two, Normally, it's kind of funny how, like, when you look at the standards of beauty, which obviously shift all the time, but you tend to see people with, like, similar, I think so. You tend to see people that kind of match each other similarly, because, yeah, someone who is, like, really ugly is rarely ever gonna match / be with someone who is far hotter. I mean, I could tell you, I could meme that right off the top of the. How many times do you hear people make fun of how Jay-Z is hideous and he's married to Beyonce?
Yeah, exactly.
They joke about how Jay-Z looks like a fucking goober. And then there's Beyonce, who's like considered like a standard of beauty for so many years, and it's like, wait, how did
Christina Hendricks got divorced from her husband at this point, but the guy she was married to, oh my God, it's the perfect example of, like, holy shit, I can't believe that this woman married him. Like, I don't mean to be mean or anything like that, but that's it.
No, it's a common expectation that people who won't admit it are just lying about it. A lot of us have those expectations. The hot people are with the hot people. The average people tend to be with the average people. It's not because it's right or wrong. It's just because I think it's a human thing to aim, quote unquote, like within what you think is a range that you can achieve.
Yeah, it's a natural thing, which is why, like, especially if you have people who've been abused and stuff like that, you're going to see them actually more often date people of a lower, like a lower number, you want to say.
Well, yeah, they have a lower self-worth, so they figure, yeah.
Exactly.
And self-worth, they're just like, oh, I don't deserve anybody, or, or whatever your, unfortunately, whatever your trauma is.
That
must be why you like hanging out with me so much. You deserve so much better, Em, I swear.
No, no,
Is that what you needed to hear today?
no, it's not. I don't care. Right
Okay,
now,
good, because lying about that really hurt. So,
yeah,
okay,
exactly.
anyways.
I was going to say, because first of all, it's a lie. Second of all, no. Third of all, no. Fourth, okay, I'm going to keep going on and on. But that's why I
Note to
want to play these
self,
words.
easy trigger for Emma.
Look where we got with fucking word association game. Look how now you were back to the same. It's really the same. It's the same goal every single time. Where it like
I like how
leads to
you're
let's
sitting
make
here
fun of
trying to
Emma.
I like how you're sitting here trying to validate it to me when I never invalidated it to you. I just wasn't. You were just not explaining it well. I was just like, I was like, listen, I know 100 random word games. You know, it's like you just weren't explaining it too well. I've never played a game like this when we were talking about like planning out this episode and talking
Well,
about
this is
this.
a
I was
different
just
kind of game. I knew that we would end up doing this. Like other people like would be more stringent of like doing the words. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna say some words and see where we go. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm like, that's so fucking great. So now it's your turn to read me words, and we'll see what happens on the other side.
that was 8 already, huh?
Yes, it was. I believe
Oh, look at that.
I don't have a good history with our podcast of counting things, but I'm almost
No, that's
positive.
true. No, that's true.
It's good enough. we trailed and we already like we're gone now.
All right, I just rolled 8 random words. Better get
Okay.
ready.
All right.
I have a list of 8 words, and we're starting with, and like I said, random. I didn't come up with these. You're just going to
Okay.
deal with it. Rear.
Window.
Dentist.
Fuck.
You heard that. Any dentist out there, you've got the in.
I fucking
If
know.
you like picking at people's teeth, Emma is coming into your bedroom at night.
No, I spent 4 months trying to get a root canal and I still need a crown, so I have to fucking deal with it. So it's just, my brain just went, fuck no. So like,
Bachelor number 1, what do you do for work? Well, I'm a dentist. Where did that come from?
Where did that come from? Yes.
A lady in the crowd just fainted. Word number 3.
That's all I can think. Number 3.
Firefighter.
Rock. I don't know.
Fuck rock, okay? Radio.
Head.
Appetite.
Silly? What the fuck? I don't know why that was the first word in my mind.
Silly. Okay, let's pick this one apart. Appetite is silly. Do you have an appetite for like silly string? Do you eat like silly string out of the can or something like that?
No,
where does silly come from? Let's analyze this. We're putting you on the couch.
Oh my god, I have no idea. It was like my brain was stuck between just sounds at first. It was like silly, and
this is why I called you Mike earlier, because instead of a word, you were just gonna go.
Exactly. Like my brain was just like, that's really funny.
God.
It just was. I was just like,
all I heard in my head when I made that comment was Chris Tucker in Fifth Element.
Okay.
Let's go inside Emma's brain briefly. What's going on?
That's literally it. It's just copper wires getting fucking fringed out and like, oh my god. Again, no.
Compete.
Trial.
Railroad.
Head. I said head again.
That dentist really got underneath her hood. Let me tell you about that. That dentist really rung the bell, if you know what I mean. He really got under the hood of that car.
He really backfired and went into the exhaust pipe.
See, I was going with puns about vaginas, because hood.
I went
bell,
with back.
Ring the bell.
You wanted the front, I wanted the back.
So there you go, dentist. Not only if you're a dentist, but if you're a backdoor man, I've got your girl. She's accepting applications. Just email them to me and I'll pass them on to her. If you're a dentist and you're single, I got someone who is ready to mingle.
Okay, anyway. What are the rest
take her on a date on a train while you listen to Radiohead, who knows? Things could go crazy.
What are the rest of the words?
There's only one left, and it's perfect. Excuse.
No. That's my word.
No excuses. Perfect. So if you're a dentist, no excuses. Emma is DTF. She's looking for you.
Oh my god. I'm going to read more words to you because this is fun.
I dare you. I dare you.
Matrix.
Kung Fu.
Did you know, actually, that the kind of things they did in that movie with the kind of action they're doing is called wire fu? Because of the way that they put them on wires and then they make them do kung fu? Did you know that?
I refuse to believe that Keanu would lie to me. It's Kung Fu, but I appreciate your feedback.
I know kung fu. I actually just watched that movie the other night. Okay. Enjoy.
Ice cream.
Okay, that's what. All right. If.
When?
I love that you keep answering like a question mark. When?
Because I mean, it's literally if. It's like,
ooh, here we go. Spider.
Man.
Okay. Thinker.
Critical.
Okay, that's cool. Fragrant.
Okay, that's cool. Fuck you. Next word. It's like the easiest way to say fuck you with us saying fuck you is just go, oh, cool. It just moves on.
Cool. Fuck you.
I have nothing to add. That was dumb. Next.
Next.
Thanks.
Comedy. Comedy.
Central.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Cool.
Style.
Points.
Ooh, okay. Okay, one more. Ready? Lift.
Taxi.
Oh. See, some of those you did like exactly like what you're supposed to with the word, but like except for the fuck you. Congratulations, Brian.
Oh, cool.
You answer so much slower than I do, I think.
Because like I don't have an immediate instant word.
Yeah, mine. That's exactly what happens to me. I get like a
like you say spider, like you say spider, and I see like a million images of spiders and things in my head first, and then the first word that pops up is Spider-Man. Spider-Man. No, it's just like,
which makes sense.
Which I haven't even seen all of the films, and I don't read the comics, but it's just everywhere. So I was like, Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's gonna pop. It makes sense why it would pop up in your head.
I actually have the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and then
they're good.
I think there's 2 more Tom Holland ones that I haven't seen, because there's 3 of them, I think. I saw the very first one.
The ones with Andrew Garfield are really good.
One.
That's not a usual opinion to have, but that's so good.
Oh, I've heard this shit, but I want to see them anyways because when I get around, because I know that I know all 3 of them show up in at least one of the future movies. So I was like, all right, I'll just watch them all at some point and just like get all the lore. But
there you go.
But so we've got 8 more words for you since you're gonna make me suffer through more.
Okay.
And we're gonna get I've been staring at a list for a minute, so I'm going to look away and just click generate a couple hundred times, and now we've got a list. Number 1, cute.
Funny. I don't know.
Aw. Secular.
Religion.
Dinner.
Served.
Tribute.
Cake. Cake.
And
cake.
Emma.exe has cracked.
Yes.
She was going to say something to tribute and was like, oh, fuck, I can't say that.
No, it wasn't.
Shit.
I blanked and started, oh my God, my brain was just like trying to come up with a word, and it was just doing the same thing. It was like, la la da 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 da.
The scene is Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, and Emma is getting walked up to the sacrificial chamber, and they say, what have you brought for tribute? And she picks up a piece of cake and goes, I've brought cake.
It's not a heart, it's cake. It's made out of cake. Oh my God.
You should quick try some of this. It's killing my country. You'll love it.
Okay, keep going.
Concession.
I immediately thought of what's his name? Jeff Sessions. Jeff.
I like the beatbox that you were going.
Shut the fuck up. Did I really? Oh my god.
If we sped you up, it would work. You were
God
like,
damn it. Somebody's gonna do. I already know right now. I already know right now. My friend Nick is gonna do something right. If he listens to this, he's gonna fucking.
You're the mix. Listen, you're the mix master. You could figure it out.
Maybe. Probably.
Quaint.
Quail.
Now she's just doing sound-alikes.
No, that's just what
Sentence.
my first. Is that the word sentence?
Sentence.
Speak.
Approval.
No.
Once again, no is the answer.
I like reusing words, apparently. I don't know why.
We now know that Emma's two default words are fuck and no. Because the last round she answered two with fuck immediately.
That makes perfect.
And then
Those
she just said
pronouns.
fuck no right there.
Fuck and no are my pronouns.
Yeah, fuck and no, yeah. Well, whatever fuck self thinks, you know?
Oh my god, that's fantastic. How many words are left?
So remember, that was the last one.
Okay, good.
So remember, if you are a dentist and you are single, Emma is DTF, date number 1. She's... Soon as she heard that word,
back to it.
Fuck! She was ready.
Oh my god.
She knows what she's looking for. So
just
remember,
yeah, I'm looking for someone.
Send those applications.
I'm looking for a dentist who's working in a place where there's another like actual doctor and the like little circular plate, like what do you call it, like the mall area? What do you want to call it when it's outdoors like that? I need because my fucking like Veo for I have Medicaid basically. And
I have bad teeth. I need a date.
No, it's like to get a ride to there without having to bug my mom or someone for a ride because I don't have a car right now, and I don't want to spend all my money on fucking lifts. So I use this like thing that's basically through my insurance where we get a ride, but they won't take me to a dentist appointment for some reason. So I have to figure out how to game the system so I can get a ride to go see a dentist to get a crown. Because I had a root canal a couple months ago now, and I need a crown for it. And I have not gone because it took me 4 fucking months just to find a place to be able to get in and have a goddamn root canal done on my stupid teeth. And I still have a fucking cavity in another one and need that one filled. So, super fun. Yay. So I am looking for a dentist. You don't have to be single because as we will not be butt fucking. It is an option. It might happen. But
she went right to rear exhaust. She's lying.
I'm just keeping continuity. Jesus Christ, Brian, you have to keep up with the lingo.
Just saying. She said rear and exhaust. She's just don't worry. Just letting you guys know that's what she said.
You're impossible. Anyway, so we can stop with the word dissociation now because that was really fun. Because I have 2
Dissociation.
Exactly.
You said word dissociation. I was like, oh.
Yes, I know. That's actually kind of what that is. It's the game where you are technically dissociating. That's exactly what we just did.
I mean, that explains your answers, I guess. So.
Well, the next thing we were going to talk about was because we're getting to know each other and getting to know ourselves a little bit. And so I decided that I was going to make Brian take the 16 personality test, which is the Myers-Briggs test, which at this point has been proven that it doesn't exactly have a lot of validity, but I like it a lot. I think it's kind of in telling in a little way. So Brian, when you took the test, what was your result? It's one of the ones where it's like ENTJ or INTF. It seems, so for the people who are listening, like if you aren't familiar with it, you should go take the test yourself. It's very short and very interesting. And it's one of those personality tests that is debatable about whether it's actually has some validity to it, but validity is what
it's fine as long as you don't take it. It's
not rocket science. It's not like this is yeah.
There's no such thing as a perfect or even a good personality test. There's
exactly.
a reason that there's a reason that when you see a therapist, you don't see them once. It's not
exactly.
It's not an exact science.
You have good days and bad days. You have days where things are more, a problem than others. Things like that.
And I say that not even specifically for that reason, but just because obviously human consciousness is not exactly something that's easily mapped. So of course you're gonna, any of these things that attempt to do some kind of personality some kind of personality analysis, as you can tell. I'm sure somebody out there is going like, oh, he's an INTP. I can tell already, which is what I got, which is INTP. And each of these gets, so what happens is you'll get a result that basically is measured based on your introvertedness, your extrovertedness,
yes,
versus your logical thinking, your emotional thinking, and I'm not super surprised by it. 100 years ago, I got INFJ on it, which is more of a introspective, like feeling kind of type. I got INTP, which is a logician. So
yes,
my character class apparently is logician.
that makes sense.
And
I believe that
the way it phrases it is it prides themselves on their unique perspective. I don't know if I pride myself on perspective and vigorous intellect. They can't help but puzzle over the mysteries of the universe. Accurate, which may explain why some of the most influential. Well, listen, Andrew. Just because Andrew Tate is the greatest thinker of our time, I mean, anybody that openly tells their millions of followers that quote unquote feel good pee-pee sex makes you gay. Real fucking quote, by the way.
I know it is. I've seen it.
I want the tweet on a shirt, and I will gladly wear the shirt. It is one of the absolute, get mad at me, it's fine, one of the most actually retarded things I have ever heard in my life.
It's like someone's being retarded at you, like actively.
I can imagine a disabled person going, please don't use that word because we don't want to be associated with him. Because it's oh my, feel good PP sex. It's perfect. It's flawless. It encapsulates everything about the man. But anyways, explains why some of the most influential philosophers and scientists have been INTPs. People with this personality type tend to prefer solitude. They can be easily immersed in their thoughts. They're incredibly creative and inventive. So far, this is feeling like astrology, but, that's where it came from. It's just, like, not afraid to express their novel ways of thinking or to stand out from the crowd. So just a general, like, oh, this person's, like, kind of extroverted in some ways, but introverted in other ways. And, I mean, this whole, like, pride themselves, I don't pride myself on any of my fucking takes, but I'll gladly share them, and I got no problem, fucking talking about them. But I certainly don't think, and I think it's an important way to approach life. I never assume that I have the answer. I just think I have, I try to come up with what I think is the best. And if I come across a better answer, then I'm going to go with that. But, I mean, it was relatively accurate. I mean, the whole, like, puzzling over the mysteries of the universe sounds really fucking pompous. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I've lost sleep over thinking about black holes and being terrified of, like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that? And why is that a thing? And what the fuck is that? And, like, I mean, I've done that,
same.
But, I've definitely done that. But it gives a whole fucking host of shit. Like, it gives all this nonsense about, like, romantic partners and fucking, what are your weaknesses? I think this is the funny part, because, like, it gives strengths and weaknesses, but I'm already kind of doubting its strengths. So I'm sitting here going, okay, so what does it say for weaknesses? Oh, disconnected. They get lost in their own train of thought. Okay, so I'm being called autistic, even when they're with other people. After finally resurfacing with something to say, they might find the conversation has moved on without them. All right, that's very Mike Lippy. They can cause people with this personality type to feel disconnected from others. I genuinely feel disconnected from others in those situations when I do, because I don't have anything to discuss with them. I don't think it really has to do with the fact that I just got sidetracked on a random tangent about the shape of the universe.
Exactly. I was sitting here going, when's he going to realize?
And then insensitive, which I'm sure you'll find hilarious. They are insensitive, which is hilarious because I've been told multiple times that I am not the least bit insensitive, but when I'm sitting here yakking, yeah, kind of. I can be pretty insensitive, but Not
It's yes and
intentionally, I
no.
don't think.
You have moments like that when you're just being like, talking like on some podcast or whatever. You're going to be honest about it and stuff like that. But when
On
it's
some fucking podcast.
But speaking as someone who's your friend and has seen you be sensitive and kind, yes, you are. Like, it's just sometimes when you're on like platforms like this, you're going to be a little bit more on the fuck everyone, I don't give a fuck variety of thinking, which is exactly how I am too. Like, at this point, I'm not trying to make any friends that that aren't going to be like this is who I am. This is the way I am, and this is like I make fucked up jokes at the wrong time. I'm the reason that we probably were already demonetized if we ever do in the second episode. That was my doing. Holla.
Well, let's hope that the guy listening to the video is a dentist.
Yeah, please. Oh my god. I will.
Yeah, please.
Yes, please. Oh my god.
You heard it from her, not me. Told you.
Okay, so that I feel like your perspective. I feel like that's what these kind of tests are for. Is it gives you perspective on your own self. So like when it tells you, that you're insensitive, immediately like whether you're like you have to gauge your reaction of like no, that's not true, or whether you're like it makes you question yourself a little bit, or if you're completely sure like no, that's that's true. Like that would be.
It's pretty far. It's
the same kind of thing that I think a lot of astrology does, which is not about like that your horoscope for tomorrow, but more that it's more about your chart and like what what your birth chart is. That's the kind of astrology that I subscribe to sometimes. But all
magic star chart.
See, and that's what's funny to me is that you can believe in ghosts and still make fun of that shit. I don't believe in astrology like that. I think listen. Astrology is a lot like a horror movie. Okay?
I like how you couldn't help but go right into astrology. Listen, you gotta give your type first, and then we'll shit on astrology.
We will. I'm just saying, like my thing about astrology is it's a lot like a horror movie. Like it can scare me and actually make me feel really
it's completely made up.
A lot of yeah. It's I feel a lot of fun. Yes, you're right. That's exactly what I'm going into. I was saying that like it's the second I start thinking that it's real, like a horror movie or astrology. If I start going, oh, this is like this is what I'm going to plan my life around this, then you need to go get the doctor because I need the net. You're going to have to scoop me up in the net because I need to go. I'm not okay. Like anyway, we're not going to talk about astrology yet. You're right. We're going to talk about my type. My type is ENFP-T. As a campaigner. So campaigners are enthusiastic, creative, and sociable free spirits who can always find a reason to smile, which is arguably very true. All of it. I am more extroverted than introverted, but it's still like the little percentages. Like I'm very close to being half and half. Because that's what I've always said, I'm an ambivert. I'm the most introverted extrovert you will ever meet, or maybe the most extroverted introvert. I don't know which one it is. But, like, I need my me time. I need my alone time. I need my space. I need, just time to kind of be free and think in whatever I'm doing, planning shit. And then my mind is that I'm more intuitive than observant, which is very, very true. The problem with that is, like, if you're not observant, then you make silly mistakes, which is what I do. That's just ADHD. That's what it's telling me. They're very imaginative, open-minded, and curious. Yes. They value originality and focus on hidden meanings and distant possibilities. Let's see. And the next one is like saying that I'm more feeling than thinking, but barely. I'm like 54%. So feeling individuals value emotional expression and sensitivity. They place a lot of importance on empathy, social harmony, and cooperation, which, yeah, absolutely. But I also incorporate logic into my thinking a lot, more than people would probably guess. And then tactics, prospecting is mine. It said prospecting versus judging. Prospecting individuals are very good at improving and adapting to opportunities. They tend to be flexible, nonconformists who value novelty above stability. Yep, that is very true. And assertive or turbulent, I am turbulent, are self-conscious and sensitive to stress. They feel a sense of urgency in their emotions and tend to be success-driven, perfectionistic, and eager to improve. That is also very true. So I would say that like it overall it does kind of grasp my personality quite a bit, especially with the stress thing. Like that's not always the case. Like sometimes like I've been able to deal with stress on any level, like a huge amount of stress at one point. But I think it's like I burned myself out with a lot of shit that was going on earlier in my life. So like, I don't know. It just is what it is. Okay. Okay.
It is what
It
it
is what it is.
is.
I'm in. It is. Oh yeah. Huh.
Okay, just got too many dentists on the mind. Relax.
Okay, and now we can talk about astrology because I was talking about the Myers Briggs.
Got her.
You know what? What?
Got her.
What? Anyway.
What?
What? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I know you're bored by astrology. I don't give a shit.
We're old.
You, my good friend, I did his charts, and he has no idea because he has no idea what it means. You, sir. Wait, God damn it, where did it go? Gimme. There it is. Okay, so see, I'm gonna explain a little bit how the idea is for what my mom and I know how to do. Like, it's a whole. First of all, I love astrology because it's something my mom is really into, and like it's one of that thing I do with her. You know, everyone has a thing they do maybe with their parent, like a ritual or just something that you're both into. My mom's super into astrology, and I love astrology as a result. Just not the horoscopes of here's how your day's gonna go tomorrow, like more the analysis of personality and, you know, where your planets, where your chart. Because for me, first of all, the sun is like obviously your sun sky is what you say, like when is the day you were born. So I was born November 5th. That makes me a Scorpio. You were born December 15th. So that makes you a Sagittarius, you loopy bitch. Sloopy bitch. That's right. I just made up a new word and I really enjoy it. I think it's great. So the moon is like kind of represents your emotionality, like the things that you express or don't express, but the inner feelings that either, you know, come out or don't. But it pretty much has a lot to do with emotion. Mercury is kind of more an intellectual side of things, like how you work through problems, how you can think of, how you think more of yourself in a more of a logical level of analysis and understanding the balance of basically society, what's around you, using common sense. Venus is obviously something that you're going to be related to love, and Mars is the last big planet that you would look at because Mars is more about your masculine traits. It's more about your aggression, your level of, you know, whether, because it's a planet of war, so it's going to be and you, my friend, are just like me and have, I believe your Mars is in Aries, or my Mars is in Aries though, which makes me a little bit testy sometimes, makes me fiery. But my Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Moon, Mercury, and Venus are all in Libra, and my Mars is in Aries. So like it says each sign, there's 12 signs, and you split them into fourths. 3 of them are water, 3 of them are earth, 3 of them are fire, and 3 of them are air. Kind of just like if you're watching Avatar, you know.
Never saw it.
Fucking what?
No, I have not seen any. I have not seen any Avatar, Airbender, or the goofy James Cameron films.
Okay, well, fuck the goofy James Cameron films. We're not going to talk about that. That is the most aggravating shit in the world to me. But, I completely just spaced again. God damn it! I'm going to edit this part out anyway.
No, you were saying something Avatar. About
because and I just got sidetracked completely when you said you've never seen it.
You said we're talking about the last Airbender, right? Now it's like, nope.
Oh my god, I can't believe you. I've failed you as a friend. I really have.
I'm not the least bit interested either. So
no, that you. God damn it.
I'm just not.
You would like it. Anyway.
I'm not too interested.
Okay, well, earth, air, fire, water.
I mean, I know that they're like elemental benders or whatever. Like that's
right.
That's the.
Well,
shtick.
there's 12 signs of the zodiac, and they're divided into fourths of 3 people each, or 3 signs each, that are, you know, either earth signs, water signs. So it's very intricate and very it's very hard to understand for a very beginner because you're just like, there's so many elements that come into work because it's like you all your planets matter in your chart. All your those kinds of readings matter, especially if there's several of like for me, your main planets are the first five, right? Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the other planets have still like some that's like right there. That's like 70-80% of your personality right there. Um, and then kind of so like for you, for example, you're Sagittarius, and I believe if I'm not mistaken, Sagittarius is a fire sign. So like that's going to contribute elements to your personality that you didn't know about. So like for you, I had your goddamn chart pulled up right here, and I'm very upset right now because also they gave me some readings about you. Ooh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so that's that one, and this is chart report. Okay. No. What is this? Okay, I'll cut this part out. I don't think it worked. There it goes. There we go. Never mind. I got it. I had it pulled up and ready to go from the beginning.
As Emma discovers herself.
Oh my god. This is the last bit's just going poorly because I was just like distracted by you saying that it got clipped out, and then my brain just started just falling apart. I don't know what happened. We're gonna just...
And as you can tell, she has no problem blaming it all on me, even though I've just been sitting here listening like a good attentive friend, but now it's all my fault.
It is, you suck. Shut up.
Standard woman placing all the blame on the man. All I did was sit here and be a good listener.
Men are trash.
And here comes hashtag kill all men over here just attacking me. And I think you need to stop yelling so much. Why don't you try smiling?
I'll smile as soon as you shut the fuck up. So...
Can you hear her blood boiling from here? Emma, try smiling more.
So your sign is Sagittarius, but your moon is in Gemini. Your Mercury's in Sagittarius as well. But your Venus...
My moon is in my pants.
Your Venus is in Scorpio, so kind of, yeah. And Mars is in Pisces.
I've never had sex with a scorpion, and I don't know what Reese's Pieces
have to do with this. It's your loss if you never had sex with a scorpion. We are pretty great to have sex with. Actually, that's...
I said scorpion, not Scorpio, but nice try.
Well, we're the animal represents us too.
I don't do nearly enough dental work to be your type.
God damn it. Anyway, my point is, like...
See, all I said was dentist, and she goes, God
because you're still talking about the dentist, and I'm like, I stopped talking about the dentist.
Because it keeps hitting.
No, it doesn't. Yes, it does.
She just had a little laughing fit and says it doesn't hit. See? It works. And then she laughed again. See? It hits.
No, just because I laugh, that is a problem that I had with an ex-boyfriend.
Ding, 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 ding. That's the other most common word she uses. No.
Just because... Oh, God damn it. I had an ex-boyfriend once.
Let's see if she says fuck.
Who did that same problem where, like...
There it is!
Where everything he said, like, because, like, he would be funny in the middle of an argument, and I'd be like, okay, no, that's just manipulative as fuck. Like, you can't sit there and pretend like you didn't do something that hurt my feelings. It's completely disrespectful of my feelings and what I'm going through, like what you just did.
Yeah, dickbag.
Just to be like, no, shut the fuck up.
That's a dick move, buddy. You don't do that. No, I'm agreeing with you. I said that's a dick move.
It is a dick move. But, I understand that people are funny, and I understand that he was funny, but it was also like, how about you do something that's going to make it so I want to have sex with you again? And because when you do that, I really don't. You're not being a smart man.
I am not a smart man.
I am not a smart man. Anyway, I was going to read a little bit about your chart, because it's saying, let's see. When people ask you what your sign, Sagittarius is your answer. Technically, though, your sun is Sagittarius, but you're made up of many different combinations. So it's highly influential and significant. Restless, cheerful, and friendly, Sun and Sagittarius people are generally on the go. They have a deep love of freedom and disdain for routine. Usually quite easygoing, Sagittarians make friends with people from all walks of life. They tend to laugh and tease, and they get along with pretty much everyone as they're entirely undaunted by social differences. Look at you go, Brian. You're
autism
undaunted. That's a
accusations.
great word choice. Undaunted by social differences.
I am unbound by social constraints, aka I've been accused of
free.
being autistic twice now.
What, by me or just in general?
By this astrology religion you're reading about.
No, it's astrology religion. It's not religion. It's like I don't count. You believe in ghosts, but you can't believe that the stars might have influence on our. What about the moon?
I never said I believe in ghosts.
You believe in like something? That's what you've said before.
I said I'm open to the. Before I have said that I'm open to the idea of paranormal shit. I won't lie. Almost all the ghost footage I've ever seen, I think is total bullshit. But I don't discount it. Doesn't mean it's the same thing with saying I don't know if there's a quote unquote, divine creator, but I don't really care either. Doesn't make me an atheist, but it doesn't make me a theist. It's just like I'm apathetic.
Okay.
It's like,
so you want to puss out about it. Okay, I see what you're
astrology says the balls of exploding gas in space are going to tell me what lottery numbers to play tomorrow.
The moon plays a huge influence on people, especially when it's like a full moon, because the way that it affects, it pulls the tide of our entire oceans back and forth. It's not, for me, like I'm saying, if it affects us physically, it's not a crazy thing if you believe in like something that's a little more on the supernatural side, or at least you're open to it. It's not crazy to think, at least to me, that could be a possibility. Now, of course, I don't believe in astrology. I think it's fun. I think it's a great way to just get to know your friends and just make jokes about shit and like have like I don't know, just something to back around.
Playing a lot of defense.
But because I know what you're gonna say, and I'm not putting up defense. I'm just trying to let you know, this is what I feel about astrology.
I'm getting ready to fight you.
You interrupt me every time I'm not getting ready to fight you. It's not something that's going to make me mad. It's what makes me mad is not being able to express what I'm trying to say. Is like what I'm trying to say about, just in general.
I've been letting you go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get mad at you or anything like that. I've just had a day where it's like everyone has been doing that to me, where I'm like, I'm just trying to talk and just say like, hey, here's what I feel about it. But like there's jokes that are being made, and I'm going, no, because it is something I enjoy, and I do have some defensive levels for it. I'm not even going to pretend I don't, because it's something that's dear to me, but it's not necessarily, I don't believe it's a religion. If you say Scorpios are stupid, I'm not going to, like, cool, like, I'm not going to get offended by that. It's just that it's one of those things that people can just rip apart, and I'm like, considering what you might believe, I just think it's like, what if? Just like that's what's fun about it for me. And I feel like every time it gets ripped apart and made fun of so hard, it's like you're just stealing like people's fun. Like, well, just let people have things they like, just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. I don't especially if in this world you find something that makes you happy, like in the smallest of ways, like fucking do that shit and hold on to it and don't let anybody take it from you. So that's the only defensiveness I get about it, because I do have a dear place in my heart for it. But it's the same way I feel about horror films. Like I've said before, like if I start thinking it's actually happening and start thinking that like there really is a killer going around killing all these teenagers, then yeah, go get the net, because I need to see a doctor. Just catch me up in the net.
Specifically a dentist.
Maybe not for that, but like it would still be really nice. It would be nice. Anyway.
No, and again, it's one of those things where I'm obviously, listen, gonna need you to stop yelling at me so much. I'm all upset now. But no, in all seriousness, come on.
I know. I'm not mad at you.
It's okay. You can be mad at me if you are. I interrupt you.
No, I'm not.
I believe you, but I'm just saying you're allowed to be. Don't feel like you have to lie.
I'm just in the mood today,
saying you are lying, because I don't think you are. I know. I kind of got that from earlier. You're ready to throw down, bro.
I don't know why. Bro. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be. I don't like being confrontational.
Listen, I'm gonna interrupt you right there. Hopefully, without you getting too angry at me. Please don't hit me. But see, that's the response I want. I gotta laugh at you. So no, like all I was gonna say is, it's one of those things where because I have people that do that to me too, and I think, people. From my perspective, because obviously you can only ever speak from your own perspective, Brian, so it's obviously always going to be from your perspective, buddy. But, for me, if I'm trying to explain something and I get something out, my mom is awful with this. I'll try to say something and she'll just jump in and I'll just be like, "You need to stop. Wait.
Yeah.
Let me finish the thought."
Yeah.
And then and then she's addressing something that I just said. It's like, I didn't explain it yet. It's like, hang on.
Hang on just a minute.
How long have you known your son?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like you've known me a little, maybe as long as I've known myself. You should probably know that you need to hang on a second.
Yeah. Well, this is just finish the thought.
And it's funny because, she does the same thing. She does the same thing. She'll get all hissy and whiny if you interrupt her. And it's like, yeah, you don't like it either, do you? Then stop doing it to me.
I don't have a problem. Like, I don't.
But yeah, no, and again, I only shit on the fucking astrology thing just because I don't give a shit if people like it. Again, I don't. It's one of those things where there's very few things I genuinely hate, and I think that word gets thrown around way too much. People need to realize that there's very few things you actually fucking hate. And it's and I'm not going to sit here and be like, don't say the word hate. It's like, say it all you want.
Yeah.
But you just need to realize when you think about it, even these fucking crazy ass creepy people who are on fucking Twitter and Facebook, 21 hours a day, who literally can do nothing except live internet drama. It's like, it's a good thing to disconnect. And there's a lot of things that you don't hate, and you need to stop telling everybody that you hate everything. And you need to stop actually believing it, because it's just like, if you sat down and really thought about it, the things that you hate are probably not as plentiful as you've led yourself to believe. And then not to mention, when you put yourself in that mindset of like, oh, I hate this, I hate that, I hate... Yeah. Why do you think you're depressed? Why do you think you're lonely? Why do you think that like your friends don't include you in things? It's
absolutely a choice.
It's like... And maybe some of those things don't apply to you, the listener, but I bet a couple of those do.
Yeah.
You toxify your life, and you don't have to pretend that, like, the bad stuff doesn't exist, but it's like, dude.
I've spoken to many women in the last, like, few months who literally just say, like, oh, I stay positive, and it's so hard for me now to be like, no, you don't. Like, you really don't. Like, you have to understand that when you're...
You don't have to be.
Yeah,
either.
Exactly. Like, you don't always have to be positive. That's a false... It makes you seem false to me. It makes you seem fake. Because everybody has days where it's just a bad day. Like I've been having today for some reason. It's not like anything that happened or when it's just little things that pile up over the day when you're already stressed out. And you don't, like, it's okay to have bad days. It's okay to not be okay. Nobody just says that. But also at the same time, if you're sitting there saying, I'm trying to stay positive, like, okay, but are you listening? You're not listening to anything you're saying then, because you're just sitting here. I hate this, or oh my God, I hate that, or oh, it's always complaining. It's always like something is wrong. It's like you don't see any positives in your life at all, like nothing. Like that's just depressed talking. When someone's like, no, there's nothing. I've had that conversation before, and I'm just sitting there like rolling my eyes. I'm like, 'cause I'm speaking to a child. Like there's like if you can't understand that not everything in your life is horrible. And you can't just put aside the drama of that for a minute just to like fucking. I don't want to have a conversation with you. It's one if you're suicidal and all that shit. I'm here for you, and I'll be I would never turn down any of my friends to talk to me about it. And that's what you're feeling. If it's real, then it's real. But it's one thing that to understand that you're saying there's nothing positive going on at all. That's bullshit. Like. You have to start looking at things that are like not like you have to start looking at it from a positive perspective. That's like the most irritating thing that anyone could say to you. It's more about just changing your perspective on things a little bit here and there and understanding, okay, I don't hate, like I'm being hyperbolic. It's self-awareness. It's self-awareness.
Yeah. It's also and it's also the thinking behind, like, if you constantly surround yourself with negativity and, because people get sick of hearing it, right? They get sick of being told, oh, well, you just need to be positive. Oh, you just need to be happy. And it's like, yeah, those are stupid things to say, because it's like, oh, if only I was just happy this whole time, I wouldn't feel this way. It's like,
I should just be happy.
But there is something to be said. Correct. But there's something to be said. And there's a reason that people, that this is a thing, but there is a reason to be said that, yes, sometimes you do need to, stretch for some positivity. It's like if you're surrounding yourself constantly with like all this negativity, all this judgment, all this, like one of my personal opinions, which I'm sure everyone is more than sick of at this point, is my opinions. But one of the
I'd love to
things
hear
that I
your opinions.
100% believe and will believe till the day I die is that at some point in the future, we're going to look back and there's going to be more deaths in the human race attributed to social media than the atom bomb.
Ooh,
And it's
that's an
one of
interesting
those
take.
things that we're going to look back on and we're going to say, look at how many people have killed themselves. Look at how many people have killed other people just because of shit on the internet, whether it's trashing people, whether it's because they've been radicalized by people. And people, and again, they make it out to be like a thing, like, oh, well, it's just men, or, oh, well, it's just, Democrats, or, oh, it's just this people. It's like, no, no, no. It's like, this affects
Yeah,
everyone.
absolutely.
And it's one of those things
Absolutely.
where it's, and we talk about it from an internet perspective because here we are on the internet on a podcast. But the internet becoming more and more ingrained in our lives, a lot of us are spending more and more of our days on the internet. It's like, it's not just when you're sitting at a computer, it's when you're on the phone.
Yeah.
It's when you're at work because you're probably at a computer. You spend a lot of the day, quote unquote, online. Even if you're just on, like, fucking Twitter or Instagram or Facebook and an app on your phone, again, you're online, right? But I think that's going to be something that we look back on and say, how many suicides and homicides and just general just loss of life will be eventually attributed to social media usage. And I know people won't want to blame it on social media, but you're going to sit here and tell me that the staggering amount of people, at least self-diagnosed, because people love to fucking do that nowadays, but the staggering amount of young people with just litanies of depression
Yeah,
disorders,
absolutely.
anxiety disorders, and
Not
it's
even
like
to mention people like
you
that
don't
girl
think
that,
suicide.
not even to mention things like that girl who got her boyfriend to kill himself. Like, you saw that whole fucking trial, right?
The worst part is I don't know which one you're talking about because I've heard of that a couple of
Yep,
times. I've heard of that kind of thing happening a couple of times. I've heard it happen the other way too. Where the guy gets the girl to kill herself,
it's
or
happened.
somebody gets bullied. There was a 10-year-old boy that offed himself last week.
Jesus.
10 years old. Somehow a 10-year-old found out how to kill himself and decided it was better than being fucking 10 years old.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, exactly, dude. Like that.
Over bullying because he was getting picked on because he and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. He wasn't an ugly kid. He didn't have any disabilities. Not saying he deserved it because if he had disabilities, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean. Kids are mean,
sure.
So if you have an obvious disfigurement, or if you have crutches, or if you're on a wheelchair or something, it makes it easier for kids to be little assholes. But this kid was literally just a nerdy looking little kid. He just had little glasses. He had little teeth. So he was getting picked on. A 10-year-old kid kill a 10-year-old
I know.
kid. Could you imagine
Because
being a
everything's
parent
so
and being
hard right
told
now,
that
dude.
that your 10-year-old son?
There's
But
nobody
I
that
don't
isn't
see.
living a
I
life of
disagree with
suffering
that.
right now.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Not that there aren't people suffering, but I think the problem is that we don't regulate our exposure. And
Yeah.
maybe it's a little soapboxy of me to say, but I think people, that's something that's going to need to become a thing. People need to realize that they need to regulate their time online. And everything from little things all the way down to the fact that so many people spend so much time online. It's like, dude, do you know how many people are vitamin D deficient? Do you know what that does to you to not have enough vitamin D? Do you know what? But whatever, we can go
Yeah.
on tangents
It's
forever.
okay.
People just need
We're
to
gonna have to
regulate
wrap
the
it up
amount of
here
time they
soon anyway.
spend because because they just get drowned in darkness, and then they wonder, and then they blame everybody else as to why they're depressed, why they have anxiety, why everything feels so dark and lonely. It's like, well, you only talk to people that 100% agree with you. You only talk to people that are constantly rumor mongering, spreading hate, or talking about things they hate. You're not surrounded by people that love things that you love. You're not going out of your way to find things to learn and to find people that want to learn as well about things that you like. It's like, dude, you just have to change the vibe. It's like, go ahead. If you're like me, because I'm like this, I love reading some fat, juicy drama about some fucking stupid people that I'm never going to deal with again.
Yeah.
But, again, you have to balance it out. You can't consume that all day. Fucking choking on poison.
Absolutely.
But that's going to do it for episode 4.
Yes.
And I know we had a lot of back and forth there. We could keep going on for 100 hours.
Yes, we
But
could.
we're going to go ahead and drop it there. And everybody that's mad at me for making fun of astrology, I'm never going to apologize. And again,
You don't need to.
I say it one to agitate you, but two, it's.
I don't mind if you fuck with astrology.
It's harmless. If that's what you like, that's what you like. I don't care.
Right.
Tell me that there's an astrology army out there that's like recruiting children, then yeah, I have a problem.
Yeah,
but,
sure. Yeah, that would be a little bit on the red flag zone, But no, I don't mind if you make fun of astrology. It was just like let me speak my piece first about it, and then you can make fun of it all you want. Like, that was all I was trying to get at when I was talking about that.
Yeah.
I don't mind if you make fun of it. I really don't, because I make fun. There's a video I need to show you, one of my TikToks. It's one of my favorite videos because I have friends who are like this, and it was just. I'm going to send it to you so you can see it. It's one of my favorite TikToks I've ever made, because it's like, this is a total character that I absolutely know. Like, you know this person, you've seen them, you've experienced them, and it's hilarious. I love the people, like, it's happening because like Mercury is in retrograde and stuff like that. And I'm like, I can understand it a little bit.
Well, yeah, that's the meme, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But oh god, I have to show you this. I'll show you later. But anyway, we're gonna cut it out. We're gonna fucking jump out of here, and especially after there was a couple technical difficulties of trying to get Discord to not be a piece of shit. Unfortunately, we did not succeed in that, because Discord will never stop being a piece of shit. But anyway, so that's our episode for 4, and I liked it. I think next time I need to make some adjustments on my fucking, because as soon as I came in about astrology, it was just over. I was like, god damn it, I need to make sure I pick my subjects more wisely, because like you go right for the jugular, and I'm like not ready for it. It was funny.
You would have thought that she would have learned that by now, but no, she's.
I tried to test. I didn't test the internet. I tested you, and that was a mistake.
I got through the D, the E, the N, the T, the I, the S, and the T, and just as I was finishing with the T, she was already, fuck, and it was like, oh, all right, Jesus.
I love you. You're my favorite.
Yeah, you're all right, I guess.
All right, y'all. We're gonna head out of here now. All right.
She's like, God fucking damn it, I hate you. Why do I do
exactly.
this?
Well, we will see you next time, because there will be next time, because I love doing this with you. I don't really care. If you get me a little bit pissed off because I'm had a bad day, it's not the end of the world. Like, that's the thing. Like, people are gonna listen to.
I did enjoy your
beatboxing. You're my friend. Like, we're friends. Like, if you piss me off, we're not gonna be like, that's it, end the podcast. Fuck you. Like, no, dude. Like, I'm not flipping the board like I'm playing Monopoly at like 4 a.m. and my grandma's got like $100 bills. Like, where the fuck did those come from? I'm gonna.
All right, Dane. All right, Dane.
See,
take it easy.
Thank you. I knew. I was like, if I make a Dane Cook reference right now, that will win, and I'll have won the episode.
It's because Dane Cook is comedy cancer.
Exactly. And so am I.
Dane Cook ruined my comedy experience in college, is all I'm going to say. I
have a whole story about an ex who, like, literally hated Dane Cook so much.
Also, he's a pedophile.
He's a pedophile. Yes, he is. His girlfriend was like, oh my god, that was really gross. It's gross. He looks.
I'm pretty
so
sure his
bad.
Girlfriend was like fucking 14
Dude,
when he met her. Oh yeah, he's 100% plastic.
Oh, he's plastic. It's bad. It was really bad. I can't even.
He's terrified of aging. He's gonna look like one of the Bogdanov twins in a couple of years.
Jesus Christ, I hope not.
And if you don't know who I'm talking about, Emma or anybody listening,
I
go
know
ahead
exactly
and look
what
up
you're
the
talking
Bogdanov
about.
twins.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's exactly what Dane Cook is going to look like in a couple of years.
Jesus Christ, I hope not. Anyway, so cheers to Dane Cook.
I hope so, because then you'll be able to see that predator coming from a mile away.
Okay, guys, we'll see you next time.
You'll be able to see that chin on the horizon and be like, oh god, Dane's here, Hydrodon.
We'll see you next time, y'all. Peace out.
As the Drake music starts blasting.
And see.